Hey guys, welcome. So today I'm gonna be making this pumpkin. It's a decor or you can use it as a pillow. It's a beginner friendly tutorial, and if you're looking for a written pattern, check out in my description box below. I have link for the blog and for the Etsy shop where you can find the written pattern. So let's get started. Alright, let's talk about the supplies you'll need. For the pumpkin body, I'm using an orange super bulky yarn weight 6. You can totally swap it out with a chenille yarn if you want that soft squishy look. For the stem, I'm using a brown yarn in weight 4. And for the little curly vine, I have got some green yarn also in weight 4. Honestly, you only need a tiny bit of green, so just grab whatever scrap yarn you have got lying around. It's perfect for this. Since we are mixing different yarn weights, I'll be using two crochet hooks, a 9 mm crochet hook for the pumpkin body and a smaller 3 mm for the stem and the vine. And of course, we need scissors and probably the most important thing here, a darning needle, so we can sew all the pieces together. We will need polyfill to stuff the pumpkin and the stem. I have got 200 grams on hand for this project, which is plenty to make it nice and plump. We'll start with the orange yarn, and the very first thing we need to do is make a slip knot. If you already know how to make one, go ahead and do it. But if not, here's a quick tutorial for you. Take the open end of your yarn on one side, then wrap it around your index finger just like this. Now gently slide your finger out and pull the yarn from underneath through the loop, bring it up and tighten it. And there you go, you have made your slip knot. Now take your hook and insert it into the slip knot. From here we are going to make 26 chains. All you have to do is yarn over and pull through the loop. That's your first chain. Just keep repeating. Again, yarn over and pull through the loop. Yarn over and pull through the loop. Again, yarn over and pull through the loop until you have total of 26 chains. Once you have completed your 26 chains, it's time to work on row 2. For row 2, take your hook and go into the second chain from the hook. Insert your hook there and make a slip stitch. To do that, insert your hook, yarn over, and now you have two loops on the hook. Pull the first loop through the second one, and that's your slip stitch. Now we'll do the same thing for the next stitch. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull through and pull through again. Repeat one more time for the third slip stitch. Next up, in the following 3 stitches, we are going to make single crochets. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop. Now you have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over again and pull through both the loops. That's one single crochet. Repeat this 2 more times for a total of 3 single crochets. Again, yarn over, pull up a loop. You will have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over again and pull through both the loops. Now after that, we are moving into 13 half double slip stitches. To make half double slip stitch, yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop. Now you'll have 3 loops in your hook. Now take the first loop and pass it through the other 2 loops. That is your half double slip stitch. Repeat the same thing for the next stitch and keep it repeating for next 12 stitches. Again, yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over again. You will find 3 loops in your hook. Now take your first loop and pass it through the other 2 loops. Keep on repeating for next few stitches until you are left with 6 stitches. Now I have reached the last 6 stitches of the row. Here we are going to repeat what we did at the beginning. So in the next 3 stitches make the single crochet. So this is the single crochet 1. Then in the next stitch single crochet 2. Make one more single crochet in this stitch, and in the last 3 stitches make slip stitches to match what we did in the beginning. So slip stitch in this one, this is slip stitch 1, this is slip stitch 2, and this is the last slip stitch. Now chain 1 and then turn your work. For row 3 we are going to do the exact same thing as row 2, but with one little difference. This time we will be working only in the back loops like this. So let's start row 3 together. Slip stitch into the first stitch, this is slip stitch 1, do the slip stitch on the next stitch and one more slip stitch. Then repeat the same thing as we did for row 2. We need to make single crochet on the next 3 stitches. And now we are going to make 13 half double slip stitches for next 13 stitches. But remember, we are working only on the back loop. So keep repeating this until you are left with only 6 stitches at the end. So here I am at the last 6 stitches. In the next 3 stitches make one single crochet each, and then in the final 3 stitches make one slip stitch each. After that chain 1 and turn your work. From here it's just a repeat. So keep doing exactly what you did in row 3 until you reach row 42. So I completed 42 rows, and if you follow the tutorial correctly then your piece should also have this nice curved shape, and that's exactly what we want. Now bring the two curved ends together and join them with the slip stitches. Now we are joining the last row to the first row. On the last row insert your hook only on the back loop, and for the first row there's just a single loop. Insert your hook into that. Now yarn over and then pull through all the loops. I'll show you again. Insert your hook on the back loop of the last row and then insert your hook on the first row and yarn over and pull through all the loops. This is what you have to keep repeating till the end of the row to join the pumpkin neatly. Now I'm down to the last two stitches, so let's finish those up. This is how your work should look like. Now chain one and leave a long tail. Cut your yarn here. We will be using this tail in the next step. Alright, grab your darning needle and thread that yarn tail we left earlier. Now we are gonna close up the bottom of the pumpkin. Just weave your needle in and out around the edge. Doesn't have to be perfect, totally random works. Once you have gone all the way around, just pull it nice and tight so it closes up. Then I go in with my needle and do a few random stitches all around just to make it extra secure, and then finish it off with a knot, and then just leave the yarn as it is for now. Okay, so now let's stuff it up with the polyfill. Pack it nicely so your pumpkin starts to take on that cute plump shape. So once it's all filled, bring your needle up from the bottom to the top. Now just weave your needle in and out around the top opening, and then pull it tight to close it, and then go ahead and add a few random stitches here and there to lock everything in place. Now tie a knot and then hide the thread. Just push your needle right through the center of the pumpkin and bring it out anywhere on the side. Snip off the extra yarn and just hide this. And just like that, the pumpkin body is done and ready. Okay, now let's work on the stem. So I'm using this brown yarn and 3 mm crochet hook. First thing we need to do is make a magic circle. So grab your yarn and wrap it around two fingers in a little cross shape. Then slide your hook under the top strand, pull it through and chain one to lock it in. Now inside this circle, we are gonna make 8 single crochet. So here's one, then this is second single crochet, this is 3. Now keep going until you have got 8 single crochets in this magic circle. Once done, just pull the yarn tail nice and tight to close up that circle. For the next round, we are going to do 8 single crochet in each stitches all the way around. So insert your hook on the first stitch of the first round and then make a single crochet. So this is one, and now put a stitch marker on this. Now continue. This is single crochet second, this is third. Keep repeating this. We have to make single crochet in each stitches. Now row 3, I'm going to repeat the same thing, single crochet in each stitches. So total of 8 single crochet in row 3. So keep repeating this and I'll meet you in the beginning of row 6. Alright, I'm in the beginning of row 6. This is where we are gonna do some increases. So in the very first stitch, make one single crochet and put your stitch marker. Then on the next stitch, make 2 single crochets in the same stitch. So this is my first single crochet, and in the same stitch make one more single crochet. So that's your increase. Now in the next stitch make one single crochet, and in the stitch after that do two single crochet in the same stitch. Again in the same stitch make one more single crochet. So basically one single crochet and then an increase, one single crochet and then an increase. Just keep that going all the way around. So by the time you get to the end of this row, you should finish on an increase. If not, some things went off, so double check your stitches. So by now it's gonna start looking kinda like a tube shape. I know the yarn is a bit dark, so it might be a little tricky to see it on the camera, but maybe the written pattern is helping you. Now for row 7, you just have to do one single crochet in each stitches all the way around. That's gonna give you a total of 12 stitches. And row 8 is exact the same like row 7, one single crochet in each stitch, so total 12 stitches all round. And I'll meet you when I'm in the beginning of row 9. All right, I'm at the start of row 9, and we are gonna do another round of increase just like before. So in the first stitch I have already done a single crochet, and then in the next stitch do two single crochets in the same spot, then go back to one single crochet in the next stitch, and then again I increase after that, two single crochets in the same stitch. Now just keep repeating this pattern all the way around. And a little tip, do not forget to count as you go because it's super easy to lose track when you are increasing. Now for row 10, you have to make one single crochet in each stitch. So that would be total of 18 stitches. So do the same exact thing for row 11, one single crochet for each stitch and total of 18 stitches. And I'll meet you in the beginning of row 12. So after row 11 it should be looking a little bit like a cap shape. Now for row 12 we are going to do increase in this row, but the only difference is we are going to increase in every stitch. So I'm gonna make two single crochet in each stitches. So earlier it was 18 stitch in total, now it will be 36 stitches in total. So now make one single crochet and in the same stitch make one more single crochet. So keep increasing in every stitch, two single crochets in each stitches. So once you are done with the row 12, just cut off a nice long tail of yarn and then go ahead and make a slip stitch into the last stitch to finish it off neatly. After that slip stitch, just pull the yarn tail all the way through the loop to secure it. And we are done. And that's it, our stem is all done. It should look something like this, and honestly that was the trickiest part, so yay, we are past the hard part now. All right, so now we are going to make the curly vine, and honestly this one is super easy. So for that, first of all make a slip knot and then start chaining. We need 50 chains at least for this. And I'm using 3 crochet hook again for this yarn. So once you have got 50 chains, go into the second chain from the hook and make 2 single crochet in the same stitch. So that's one, and into the same stitch make one more single crochet. Then in the next stitch do 2 single crochets, that single crochet one, and do one more single crochet into the same stitch, and just keep doing 2 single crochets in every stitch all the way down. After a while you will see the coiling effect, and I'll meet you when I'm at the end. So I'm here at the last stitch, also making 2 single crochets here. So this one is single crochet one, and I'll make one more here in the same stitch. So now just chain one and cut a long yarn tail so we can sew this vine into our pumpkin later. So now our curly vine is ready, and we have already got the stem done too. Alright, let's start the assembly. First we are going to attach the vine to the pumpkin, thread the yarn tail of the vine onto a needle, and then sew it right into the center of the pumpkin. I like to go through it twice just to make sure it's nice and secure. Once that's done, snip off the extra yarn and tie a little knot with the open thread so it stays in place. And to hide those yarn tails, just push them right down to the center of the pumpkin with your needle or using your fingers. That way everything looks neat and tidy. Next we are gonna stuff a little polyfill inside the stem as well, because this helps to keep its shape nice and firm. Then place the stem right in the center of the pumpkin, the opening, and then thread the yarn tail of the stem into a needle and then start sewing it to the pumpkin body. There's no exact method here. I'm not using anything special, just sew it around from all the sides so it stays secure. That's it. Once you have sewn the stem all around, so now tie a final knot to secure it. And also need to hide this yarn, so I'm just pushing my needle somewhere inside the pumpkin, and then just snip off the extra yarn, and just like that the stem is perfectly in place. And there you have it, our pumpkin is all done. If you enjoyed watching this, give it a like and hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye.